Hey gang, Josh here, and you're watching Chimp Skills. And today I want to talk about eye accessing cues. So eye accessing cues is a function of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and what it allows is for you, when you're speaking to someone, to monitor their eye patterns and determine what representational system they are thinking about while they're explaining something to you. So representational systems, like I mentioned in an earlier video, are each of the different senses. So auditory, kinesthetic, visual, and then also auditory digital, which is self-talk. So whilst you're talking to someone, or if you're watching someone, you're able to determine which one of the senses they're eliciting while they're speaking to you by monitoring their eye movements. What it also allows you to do is figure out whether, say for instance, there's an image or a sound, whether that person has constructed it or remembered it. So we've probably all seen in the movies where people, look at the way someone's eyes are moving, and whether they're looking to the left or to the right, that means they're telling the truth or they're telling a lie. You sort of can and you sort of can't. There are a lot of exceptions, and I'll go through those, but you also have to determine a baseline from someone as well to determine whether they're reverse organized or normal organized. So I'll explain all that a little bit later. But what I'll do is just break down basically when you're looking at someone, and I'm going to put an image somewhere around here, what you'd be looking for when monitoring their eye accessing patterns or their eye movements. So simply for visual, you'd be looking either up to the left or up to the right. So if someone is recalling an image they've seen before, so if you would ask me what the inside of my bedroom looks like, I'm going to look up to the left. So that would be your right if you're looking at someone else. If you were to ask me what a pink elephant with purple polka dots look like, I would have to think of an elephant. I'll be looking up to the left, and then I'm going to look up to the right to create that image of the pink elephant with purple polka dots, because I haven't seen one of those before. Now, if we're looking at auditory or sounds, if we were to look level across to the left, your right, that's going to be a sound that I've heard before, a recalled sound or a remembered sound. So it might be the sound of a car. So I'd be looking straight across, level and flat there. If you were to ask me to, say for instance, think about the sound of my mum's voice whilst the saxophone is playing at the exact same time, I'm going to have to look across to the right, a level with my eyes there to create that sound, because obviously I haven't heard that before. Now, if you're looking at self-talk, so we all say things to ourselves all the time inside our head. So if someone's using self-talk, they're going to be looking down to the left. So that's auditory digital down in that aspect there. And then when you're looking at feelings, so it could be physical feelings or emotional feelings. So say for instance, if you ask someone to remember a time when they might have touched a pan that was too hot or something like that, they're going to look down to the right for kinesthetic. Likewise, a time when they felt really confident, they might be looking down to the right. Now, there are a few exceptions when looking at accessing someone's eye patterns. The first thing is that some people are reverse organized. So that's why it's important to run through some of those questions like I did at the beginning to determine someone's natural eye pattern movements. A lot of people who are left-handed seems to be reverse organized. So exactly the way I just described it, but a mirror image opposite. So they would be recalling an image, they'd be looking up and to the right, where I did it earlier, up to the right for myself was a constructed image. So that's one of the things to look out for. Another thing is also whatever someone's primary representational system. So if you're, say for instance, a visually orientated person, even if someone's to ask you what your favorite song is, instead of thinking the song, because visual is your go-to sense, you might be thinking of what the album cover looks like on that particular song, or the imagery from the film clip. So that can also be a little bit misleading. The most important thing, I guess, when looking at someone's eye accessing cues is just trying to figure out what representational system they're using. And that can be important in regards to how that person makes decisions or how they like to communicate. So say for instance, if you find someone who's constantly, looking up to left when you're asking questions all the time, that could determine that they were more visually orientated than any of the other representational systems. So look guys, there's plenty of stuff on the net. If you want any more information, hit me up. It's called eye accessing cues. It is a controversial science. There has been like a lot of studies done on it, and it is sort of an unconscious movement that we can't really control. But yeah, to say that it was 100% concrete would be a lie. But I figured you can take all the information that you can get and make the most of it. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, give it a share, and until next time, peace.